The Amazon rainforest, also referred to as the lungs of the planet, covers roughly 2.7 million square miles, about the size of the United States of America. But over the past 50 years, nearly 20% of the rainforest has been destroyed, and scientists claim that another 18% suffers from degradation. And scientists also warn that we're coming dangerously close to the forest breaking point, which is 25% deforestation. At that point, there's a risk of the forest transitioning into scrubby savanna. However, when there's a problem, there are also people with solutions. ABB Robotics has collaborated with a non-government organization called Jungle Keepers to make reforestation faster and more efficient. The Yumi Kabot by ABB Robotics is a remote, solar-powered robot that works in a station by creating holes in soil with a trowel, then picks up seeds with a pincher before planting and covering them up. And the robot can plant 600 seeds in a single morning. Peru has the second largest area of the Amazon rainforest, and Jungle Keepers decided to take it deep into the Peruvian Amazon to an area called Madre de Dios, which took 3 days to reach. ABB Robotics experts simulated and deployed programming for Yumi's tasks from 12,000 kilometers away in Sweden through Robot Studio cloud technology. Jungle Keeper Rangers said they could only fill 80 bags a day, but now the robot fills 640 bags in 2.5 hours. Jungle Keepers also want to expand more robot bases in Amazon communities with a mission to protect 55,000 acres of the rainforest. The director of forest management research at the Peruvian Amazon Research Institute by the name of Dennis del Castillo Torres said this: "The Amazon is in danger. That's why we need technology, science, and local knowledge to work together in order to save it. Otherwise, we'll be too late. The rainforest can be saved, but we must bring together all these elements to make a difference." Dennis also added, "It is very important to have a combination of high technology and conservation. There are many technologies that we can use to preserve the forest, and this robot can help a lot to reforest faster, but we have to be very selective." And Dennis may be right, because as times and situations change, so do the solutions. Now at first, I was extremely skeptical about a robot planting trees, and the effects that introducing this kind of technology into the deep jungle might have. However, it looks like this is one of the few cases where robotics is being used for good. The director of Jungle Keepers, Paul Rizzoli, is absolutely passionate to the core about this project's mission. This guy's story is incredible. Now unfortunately I don't have time to cover it here, but he's a certified badass. Like this video here of him saving a drowning monkey. This seems like a project that genuinely cares about conservation, wildlife, and the overall well-being of the Earth. I absolutely love the concept of this mission and support reforestation 100%, but this also got me thinking a little bit. If one robot can replant pots to an area the size of 2 soccer fields every day, then will we be able to rebuild the rainforest and offset damage done by cattle ranching and logging with the help of more robots? If one robot can replace several humans now, how many of us will it replace in the future? Even if it's being used for a virtuous cause, we need to ask ourselves, what kind of ripple effect will this have in the future? Both the pros and the cons need to be considered here. If this is successful in rebuilding the 20% rainforest that we already lost, then that'll no doubt have a positive impact on not just humanity, but the rest of the world. However, if this is so successful that companies begin to replace their workforce with robots because of efficiency, then that particularly won't be so great for humanity. And if you're wondering, a dual-arm Yumi robot like this one cost over $50,000, and that's including the price that you have to pay to maintain it. I'm wondering how well this will perform in extremely humid climate with constant rain and heat. How often will it need someone to micromanage it or repair it when it stops working correctly? And how difficult or costly will those repairs be in the future? From what I've read, this is a non-profit organization, and because this is a collaboration, I also don't know if they purchased the robot, or if ABB gave it to them, or also if ABB is lending it to them for this specific project. But either way, it looks like it's being used for a good cause. And at this rate, we need whatever help we can get to prevent further deforestation. The Amazon rainforest isn't just a bunch of trees. It stores over 150 billion tons of carbon and locks it away in biomass through photosynthesis to prevent it from entering the atmosphere and potentially raising global temperatures. It even has the power to generate its own rain and influence weather patterns across South America and even further through transpiration, feeding the world's largest river system. The Amazonian rainforest is a unique ecosystem that's home to millions of species of plants, animals, fungi, and microbes, with many found nowhere else in the world. This is why it's so important to protect the rainforest, because if we don't, it will have dire and irreversible consequences on our planet that threatens to push the species of not only plants that are one of a kind, but animals as well to extinction. Not to mention, this is also home to over 400 indigenous tribes. We need the rainforest, and if we destroy it without rebuilding it, it will have dire consequences on everyone, not just the people, animals, and plants who live there. What are your thoughts about working with robots to rebuild the rainforest? Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? And let me know why in the comments section below. One thing that's for certain is we're definitely going to be seeing more tech and robotics intermingling with the world of conservation, and hopefully this will have a positive domino effect. We'll see. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with future content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.